Paladins just released a new hotfix, and oh boy, some champions are getting absolutely wrecked. Before we take a look at the balance notes, though, there is a Crystal Storm happening this weekend, which basically makes it so that every day this weekend, from February 16th to 19th, you get crystals per daily queue bonus. So basically, you play 2 matches, and every single queue, you get a bunch of crystals. It's 100 crystals if you play the entire weekend and you qualify accordingly with these modes. So definitely keep that in mind. It's free stuff. Why wouldn't you play? But yeah, if you play on Steam, you can find the patch notes on Steam just in the recent news. And if you play on another platform, the patch notes have been listed on x.com. I always hate to say it, but that's the name of the website, so... Twitter. They're on Twitter. I didn't see them on the website yet, the Paladins website for some reason, but maybe they'll be there eventually. I don't know. Right now, I would just go to Twitter for it, but you can also just watch this video. Hey, there you go. So, Lex... Holy crap. Lex got nuked. This is like... Seven got nuked, and everyone said it was my fault, and that was a whole dramatic event. But Lex, honestly, is getting, like, comparable changes, all just focused around one talent, though. So the rest of the playstyles will be fine, but... Heroism is gone. Let me just show you. Heroism. The actual in-game notes haven't been updated yet, so that's why it still looks exactly the same. But if you look at the patch notes, it actually says at the very top, these balance changes will not be reflected with game descriptions. These will be corrected in a future update. But this talent no longer has CC immunity, and they reduced the damage resistance from 90% down to 40%. So this talent just got CC immunity removed and 50% DR cut down, just like that. I think this is the single biggest talent nerf I have ever witnessed, at least in recent memory. I don't remember a talent getting nuked this hard in a very long time. I mean, maybe we'd have to go back to the Deep Roots rework, but that was a rework. This is just a flat nerf to the talent, and it is... oof. That's already a punch in the gut. But also, they nerfed his slide cards. So, Warrant's out. This is the card that gives movement speed after combat slide ends. This gets movement speed bonus reduced from 10% per tier to 8% per tier. So at level 5, it'll be 40%, which is what my level 4 card is right now here in this slide build. But also, Wicked Don't Rest. This is the major nerf here. This talent got reduced from a percent-based cooldown reduction to a flat cooldown reduction. So instead of 25% cooldown reduction for each enemy hit by your weapons, it is now at level 5, half a second cooldown reduction for each enemy hit by your weapons, which, fun fact, is not 25% of combat slide, because combat slide is 3 seconds. So half a second off that would be quick maths. It would be about a sixth of the cooldown reduction, which is, yeah, not nearly as good. So yeah, when you combine the nerf to Heroism with the nerfs to these cards, Heroism just went from, like, Lex's best talent and an S-tier talent to literally his worst playstyle now by far. This just got dumpstered. I mean, it is insane how hard they nerfed this talent. Now, I'm happy to see Heroism be nerfed because it's annoying. Lex himself is a terrible character design, and I don't think too many tears are going to be shed for this playstyle dramatically exiting the meta. As a matter of fact, I think if Lex got removed tomorrow, the only people that would be sad would be, well, super sweaty controller PC grandmasters. I think the rest of the player base would be fine with that, except for the, like, 1% of Lex mains who actually play him because they like his vibes, his cop playstyle or whatever. So, I'm fine with Lex nerfs, but even I have to say that this is brutal. This is just... wow. They're really making a statement with this one. And the message has been sent. Lex is, he's not okay. Next up, we have Saati with Heads or Tails getting a pretty massive nerf as well to both Heads or Tails and the Ultimate Generation card. Not nearly as brutal as Lex, though. So all that's happening here is, first of all, Steady Predictions is getting nerfed. So instead of 1% ultimate charge per tier, it's now 0.8%. So it should be 4% at max level now, instead of 5%. So a little bit less ultimate generation. But the major nerf is to the coin. This will now, with heads or tails, only do 200 damage, and we can actually exhibit that there. Now, I believe this will also affect the shields. So this talent gives a percent-based increase to the damage done to shields by 200%. So I'm pretty sure this will make it do 600 damage to shields now instead of 900 damage to shields, which is also a pretty massive nerf. So yeah, just a damage nerf all around to the coin. Now, with heads or tails, you're back to no longer amplifying your damage done, right? Because before the nerf, with heads or tails, you were doing 600 damage per shot with the coin, spread across 2 people, which is more damage per second than just shooting one target for 530 damage per second. Now, you're only doing 400 damage per shot with the coin, so that means it's now back to being a cover denial tool and an AoE tool, but it's still more effective if you want maximum damage output in a match, so just shoot the enemies normally. It's a pretty heavy nerf to heads or tails, but just like Lex, I don't think too many tiers are going to be shed over this, because coin spam is a really toxic and unhealthy playstyle for the game. It's not fun to play against because of all the cover denial and just annoyingness. It's not fun to play as a Saati because you're just flicking a coin up and spamming and just... It's droll and boring and dumb no matter who you are in the engagement. It's just a really bad playstyle. But then the nerfs continue. I'm scared of this one because I feel like people are going to blame me for this, even though I had nothing to do with Mag Dump getting buffed, and now I have nothing to do with Mag Dump getting nerfed apart from, again, being one of many voices who were saying Mag Dump was overpowered, even before I made my VII video showing off the new buffs. So, God. Mag Dump is getting a massive slew of nerfs, both to Mag Dump and to a card. So very similar nerfs across the board to a bunch of these characters here. And we'll just go with Overcharge to demonstrate this. Basically, Rapid Response is now 40% at level 5 instead of... Or actually, wait, it's 7% scaling, so that's 35%, not 40%. 35% reduced recoil of Mag Dump instead of 50%, so it's going to be a lot harder to hit these shots. This is the card at level 5, and you can see that spread. Yeah, that's a lot more inaccurate than it previously was at level 5. And then also, they've reduced the effective range from 25 to 15. So 15 units is still higher than the previous 10 units, but it's only a 50% increase as opposed to a 150% increase. And when he's in the red, this is the new effective range. So at this range, we're doing full damage, except it doesn't even look like we're doing full damage there. Okay, apparently this is the full damage range. I'm not sure why he was red and we were getting fall off there, but that leads into the next nerf, which is the maximum damage range has been decreased from 100 to 50. So they will turn white now, that far away. Cut in half. Before you'd be able to mag dump from this range, not anymore. And also, even if you could mag dump at this range, the recoil would make it so that basically only one shot would hit the enemies anyways. I mean, look. Okay, I guess 3 shots hit the enemy, but also the fall-off is insane. So they have increased the damage fall-off when out of range from 50% to 80%. So at this distance, we're not even doing 100 damage. And we're not even hitting all the shots. So Mag Dump will still do a metric crap ton of bursts. You can one-tap people if you hit headshots. And especially if you pick Tribunal upgrades, you get that fire effect. You can just do that and absolutely wreck, and you can still buy Deft Hands and all of that. The potency is still there. It's just now it's back to being a tool that is effectively melee range. So you've got to get this close to the enemies with 7, and even if you're at this range, look at that, it's not nearly as effective as at this range. So, yeah, that has been nipped in the bud. Now you're back to burst mode being meta, I'm pretty sure. Because, yeah. It's the best of everything. It's the best range, it's the best consistent damage, it's the best first playstyle. Burst mode should just be his only primary fire. Burst mode, left click, mag dump, right click, delete, automatic mode. You guys remember my 7 manifesto, right? That's my suggestion. Still my suggestion. 7's fire modes are still very fickle to balance. However, there are 2 winners of this update, with some buffs instead of some nerfs, and those are Skye and Strix, 2 stealth characters who got hurt really hard by the introduction of 2 things this patch. First of all, everyone has a base Illuminate radius of 40 units now, which is higher than it was on the PTS. On the PTS it was only 30. I still think 30 units is much more fair for stealth characters than 40, but That's just my hot take. Feel free to agree or disagree. But regardless, it ended up at 40 units, ultimately, I would say, hurting stealth characters more than helping them, considering that's basically Illuminate 2 in base kit. And also, armor plating really, really hurts characters who rely too much on weapon damage, and Strix especially is one of those characters who, if the enemies buy armor plating, you feel terrible. Like, you can't do anything. You basically do no damage, especially, God forbid, if you pick Crackshot and you opt in to nerf your own damage by a further 25%. So, yeah, they both have gotten some buffs to compensate. Skye just got her damage nerf reverted. She's back up to 130 damage on her crossbow now, which I think is very fair, considering the stealth radius change that they did from the PTS to live servers, and also the fact that armor plating exists. I think it made sense initially to maybe hit Skye down a little bit, considering she was already one of the strongest flanks in the game, especially on controller, and then with these new stealth characters, or these new stealth changes with Illuminate, they wanted to make sure she wasn't too strong. But now they've proven that with this damage nerf, with the stealth change and with armor plating, she wasn't feeling super hot. So yeah, the damage going back up, I'm absolutely fine with that. And yeah, that's pretty nice. But then Strix is also getting a raw movement speed buff, just to his base movement speed.
Hold on.
So this will scale very nicely with cards like Tactical Retreat and also the talent of Nocturnal, which provides 20% increased movement speed while in stealth. These are percent-based increases, which will then apply directly to the base movement speed, which is now 350. So we're walking around, and we are just slightly faster now than we were before. This is actually a bigger movement speed buff than they gave to Terminus, if I recall correctly. So Strix, very fast now, and if we just pop into stealth here, yeah, we can reposition pretty quickly. This doesn't fix the issue of his damage falling off super hard when armor plating is in the picture, but being able to reposition more quickly, considering everyone has a passive stealth radius of 40 units now, I think that's pretty reasonable. And also, you can just stack it with Nimble. That's another percent base increase. That is now a lot stronger because the base movement speed has been increased. So yeah, this is a very subtle change for Strix, but it will help him out a little bit without you know, really making him just annoying to deal with. I think this is more of a band-aid fix than anything, because it does help, but it's not super game-changing, and I think they want more time to maybe give Strix some more thought-out changes to his balance, considering the new dynamic with the damage in this game, with armor plating and all that. Which I think is very fair. I think snipers, you have to be very careful with balancing them. You have to give them very careful thought. And so I wouldn't rush out sniper changes. And this is, yeah, very small. It's very nice. And then we have one more change to this hotfix. And that is a bug fix to armor plating. So armor plating is, it was bugged. It was only providing 21% damage reduction at tier 3 instead of 24%. So armor plating was already insanely powerful, everyone was buying it, and it was really annoying to deal with, especially if you stack it with veteran. You basically can't kill anything. But apparently that was the weak version of armor plating. Armor plating just got 3% stronger now at tier 3. Yeah! Woo! Poor Strix. But yeah, I'm glad to see bug fixes, but in my opinion, I'm starting to feel like armor plating is a bit too strong. If they wanted to keep the potency of armor plating, because I like the idea of having powerful items, then maybe make it 300 credits instead of 275, just as a starting point, because I'm starting to feel like the time to kill is getting a little bit too high in this game, especially if you're playing someone who relies only on weapon damage, and you're in that mid to low tier weapon damage class, like Strix, who his DPS isn't super high. He's just got high bursts, right? So, like, it really, 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 really hurts characters like Strix, Eevee, Maeve, Kinessa, Shalane, like, all of these characters feel really bad when armor plating and veteran is ramped up, and the time to kill is just crazy. So, that might be what I would do. Or you could maybe just take this down to 6, take this down to 7% scaling, leave Arcane Warding intact. I don't know. I'm just spitballing ideas here. Let me know what you think about that in the comment section, of course. But there is still one bug with armor plating that has not been fixed yet that will be fixed in 7.2. Armor plating is not interacting with Arcane Warding properly. So if you stack both of these items together, you buy armor plating and you buy Arcane Warding, because you've bought Arcane Warding and you've maxed it out, it actually causes diminishing returns to happen onto the armor plating, where Arcane Warding will still be 36% damage reduction, but armor plating will be reduced, so it won't be 24% damage reduction. It'll be much lower, which seems to me like a bug in the code regarding diminishing returns with stacking damage reduction, which is not supposed to happen between these two items. It's only supposed to happen when you stack, let's say, armor plating with a card that gives you damage reduction or something like that. So I think, yeah, it's good that that should be fixed, but it's not fixed yet, and it should be fixed in 7.2. They have a fixed plan for that, so once that's there, hopefully these items will be no longer bugged at all, and yeah, then we can really think more about maybe fine-tuning the balance of them. So yeah, that is the balance here for the brand new hotfix that just released yesterday on Thursday. And of course, yeah, make sure you're participating in the Crystal Storm. It's free crystals. Why wouldn't you? I mean, just play a few matches. All you gotta do is, you gotta play 2 matches in each queue. Right? Because that's the daily Q bonus. It happens alongside your daily gold Q bonus, right? So play 2 matches of Siege, 2 matches of Onslaught, 2 matches of Payload every day during the Crystal Storm. 100 free crystals. Heck yeah. Love to see it. But yeah, let me know what you think about all this in the comment section down below. Make sure to like and subscribe if you have enjoyed, and I will see you all next time. Peace out.